hi everybody. Welcome to Wingman Wisdom, and let's say goodbye to 2023, shall we? Thanks for joining me today. Today is Sunday, December the 31st, and I'm going to do a follow-up today on that recent two-part fire video that I played just before Christmas, and read some of the comments and give you some more things. I don't know, just give you my perspective, if you will, and I would like to know what you think. But before I do that, yes, I'm wearing a spooky Halloween themed shirt because I think it's kind of a spooky time. We're living in a crazy time. If you think that 2024 is going to be less crazy and more peaceful and calm on all of us, type 1. If you think that 2024 is going to be even crazier than 2023 has been, type 2. Again, if you think 2024 is going to be calm and nice or we're going to return to normal, type 1. I don't know if anybody's going to type 1. If you think it's going to remain chaotic and maybe even more chaotic in the months to come, type 2. So, also one more thing about this shirt. If you'd like to purchase any of the shirts that you see me wear from the manufacturer that I buy them from, the link for the discount has changed. It's going to now be Wingman24. It's the keyword, the code at checkout. You'll save an additional 10% if you want to buy any of these shirts. And like all my contact information, it's in the description of this video down below. All right, so I'm going to play some of these, or I'm going to read some of these comments from the last two videos I did. And so let's just go ahead and jump right into them. There's too many for me to actually read, but I picked out some. This is from Poco Kit. Hi, Wingman. Please do a follow-up. Let us viewers know how this story ends. Also, if you have not already, please put up a buyer's beware video detailing what we should look for in the warranty and any other useful related info. Thanks. Okay, if you didn't get a chance to watch either of those videos, I'm going to put a link to them down below. I really suggest that you watch them. They're pretty terrifying. They really are. A couple hundred comments all over the place in terms of who is at fault and what happened and all kinds of questions. I want to, before I even respond to any of these comments, I am not a lawyer. I'm not. I'm just an old guy that's been around the block a lot, and I've got my ideas, my thoughts, and I'd like to know what your thoughts are. So the fire was this catastrophic RV fire within 24 hours of the time when this family purchased this brand new RV. It was a Heartland fifth wheel. They purchased it through Camping World. They thought they did everything right. It turned into a catastrophic fire. It almost cost them their lives. Some of the people that commented asked, well, why didn't they save the truck? I know the RV was a complete disaster. Why didn't they save the pickup truck? Have you ever tried to unhook a fifth wheel? You can't just do it like a bumper pull. It takes a while. Now add flames roaring everywhere. You've got a newborn in your truck with you, your family, your kids. How quickly could you get that thing unhooked? So yes, it was a complete, total disaster. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not stating these things by fact, but this is the spirit of what I'm saying, I think is accurate. And there are two big takeaways to this story, and as it unfolds, this video today, I'll tell you both of them, at least in my opinion. So, the family that was involved in this tragic accident, this fire, tried to make a claim, and I don't know how much they got with their insurance. I don't know, but I do know that time was running out in terms of the statute of limitations on them being able to find some kind of a claim against the dealer and the manufacturer. And that's when they hired a lawyer, and the lawyer stepped in and tried to put all the pieces together. And so, as you may know from watching my videos on the channel, I do a lot of interviews with a man named Ron Burge. He is the nation's preeminent RV lemon lawyer, and he talks an awful lot about RV warranties. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but RV warranties are not made to favor you and me, the consumer. They're made to cover their butt. Them meaning the manufacturer. And they change all the time. That's why I constantly I beat it in. Please read your RV warranty. Please know what is included and what is excluded from the warranty. Please read your warranty. I can't tell you that information. So Poco Kit, you want to know, you like a buyer beware video? I'd love to make one, but this is the bottom line. It's up to you. It's up to the RV owner to read their warranty and understand it. If you don't like what it says, if you don't understand what it says, get clarification on it before you sign on the dotted line. We got Kathy Brooks says, I hope Heartland and Camping World step up to the plate, settle this thing out of court. But knowing how corporations try to beat the plaintiffs up, they crawl away with rejection. I doubt that would happen. So next best thing would be a trial by jury. No way Heartland or Camping World would win. Wingman, please keep us updated on this story. I will do that, Kathy, but here's my gut. My experience and my gut tells me that this is going to just go away. I don't think that Heartland and Camping World are going to write a check and it's going to go away. I think that when they do write a check, and I think it will, if it goes to a jury trial, I would be stunned if it did not go in favor of the Doman family. I'd be shocked. But if it does, guess what? You're not going to hear anything about it. At least none of the really juicy details, because part of almost every settlement is the plaintiff has to sign a non-disclosure. They're not going to be able to tell you anything except, well, we settled it. Did they get $1 million? Did they get $1? It doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to provide any of that information. I think that is important for you to know. Wes Alexander. And Wes, your comment is dead on, I think. Wes says this needs to be a landmark case, one that forces a major paradigm shift in the entire RV industry, one that forces RV manufacturers to quit manipulating language to screw the customer, one that forces them to take responsibility, especially in cases in which it is unambiguously clear a product is defective. At some point, it should become rather obvious to even the corporate bean counters that they're doing more reputational harm to the company than they are saving by acting in such an egregious manner. When they want to sell you something, they're your friend. When their own malfeasance is evidence, they don't want to know you. Wes, you're spot on with what you say. And this kind of leads me to one of the takeaways. I think this should serve as a wake-up call. Not every RV is going to explode in fire. Very few of them do. But the ones that do are really bad, like happened to the Domans. They didn't know. They took the dealer's word. They told the dealer, hey, we're having a problem. Our heater isn't working. Well, you guys go ahead and use it and bring it back and we'll fix it after your vacation. That was not good advice, at least not in my opinion. What do you think? Let's go on to... My buddy Doc Will says, Camping World, enough said. I would trust an Epstein-run daycare before I trust Camping World. This is a nightmare for any owner, especially full-timers, where everything you own is inside. Thank God no one was killed or seriously injured, especially a young child. And there was a young child on board. And, the husband had to go to the hospital for smoke inhalation, but they all survived. Gary Tedford says, great video, Alan. Sounds like it was very poor PDI conducted by Camping World. If they had actually turned on the propane heater and tested the unit, they most likely would have found the issue. You think? Blown fuses or poor wiring. I hope the Domans put a huge dent in both Camping World and Heartland's pocketbook and then document publicly their story on Twitter. Again, I don't think they're going to be able to document anything after the settlement, and I don't know how long it's going to take. But isn't it sad? And here's the other thing. When is the right time to do the wrong thing? When is the right time to do the wrong thing? There is no right time to do the wrong thing. The right time to do the right thing is when it's time. And to let it drag out, at least in my opinion, let it drag out, drag these people through the mud. The emotional stress, the financial stress. For crying out loud, it's $1 billion company, isn't it? Couldn't they write a check right in the beginning and say, look, we're not exactly sure how this thing started, but there was something bad wrong here. We can write a check and we can settle up and make this thing go away. But instead, nope. They listen to somebody. The bean counter saying, no, we're just going to fight it. Maybe nobody's going to watch this video. Maybe people are going to continue to go to Camping World. Maybe they're going to continue buying these RVs and not even think about getting an inspection. I don't know. But I think personally, I want to hope and believe that people are waking up They're waking up to their responsibility and the manufacturer's responsibility. Not all dealers are this way. They are not. Not all PDIs are the same. They are not. A good dealer will do a PDI and make sure that your RV is 100% campground ready and fully functional before you ever leave the dealership. That's a fact. Now, is it a pain in the butt for them to do? Sometimes it is, because crappy RVs sometimes come from the manufacturers. But isn't it up to the dealer to make sure that the thing is in safe, roadworthy condition? I think it is. All right, let's go on down there. I mean, there's a lot of comments. There's one. Joy says, this is also very sad. The dealership should have never, ever let that unit leave the lot if breakers were thrown and systems not working right, period. Absolutely, Joy. They should have never. The Domans, no matter how excited they were, and I know they were excited. We're all excited when we buy an RV. But they coulda, woulda, shoulda. Hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it? It's easy to Monday morning quarterback the football teams, to Monday morning quarterback everything. These are just ordinary people, good people, excited. They spent a lot of money. The husband's brother, I think, died of COVID. They were trying to get down to see him before he died. So I can understand their excitement, their anxiety to try to get out of there. But when the dealer says, if it really happened this way, if the dealer says, hey, it's okay, y'all just have a good time, bring it back and we'll fix it. I don't think that's right. Let's go on. Ken says, Ken McLeod, I'm a little surprised that making the heater work wasn't part of the delivery walkthrough. Duh. I was also under the impression that dealers go through units coming from the manufacturer and repair all the issues, or maybe they only do cosmetic work. The RV industry has a pretty bad reputation for quality in the U.S., so while I have considered new, I've only bought used so far. During the pandemic, during the parts shortages, the RVs that were being manufactured across the board, I believe none of them were as good as the ones that are being manufactured today. That's the truth. I believe that they're not as good as the ones that the manufacturers were making before the parts shortages, before the pandemic. If you have an RV that was made in late 2021, early 2022, I would be extra cautious. I would be more diligent than ever doing your maintenance and checking on things just in case. So, the RV industry, this is the another thing. That fire, the RV industry, these people are pissed. It's not just these few hundred people that make comments on my videos. Don't you see it, RV industry? Can't you see it, or do you just ignore it? Or is profit so important to you that screw the little guy? Maybe it is. I don't know. I know that you got to make money. But for the long-term health and growth of this beautiful industry, and it is, RV and camping and spending time in the great outdoors and traveling, it's fantastic, or it can be fantastic. These people that hear the horror stories, these one-and-done people, these dealers that rip people's financial face off, what is that doing to the future of the RV industry? I can't stand it. That's why I try to work with dealers that I have fully vetted. That's the truth. Can't we just be honest about this? Obviously not. Let's keep going. Oh boy, I'm not going to do a whole lot more of these. Damon, I messed up his name. Until the cause of this tragedy is determined, we're all just speculating. The family, dealership, and insurance company all want to protect their interests. Let's let the cake bake. I get it, Damon. I really do. And we are all just speculating. There was no way anything was left over. They could not determine the cause, as I understand it, the cause of where that fire started. No way. It was completely, totally burned to the ground. That's the truth. And by the time the lawyers got involved, it was a year later or so. So we are speculating. We have to let the cake bake. But if we allow the manufacturer, if we allow the dealer to bake the cake, what do you think the Dolmans are going to get out of it? Do we let them bake the cake? I think we need to bake this thing together. There is no wrong time to do the right thing. All right, Dale Marshall says, seems like Camping World screwed up right from the beginning. Can't believe they had to leave the dealership that morning knowing they did not have any working heat. I've been fortunate in the last two RVs I purchased. The dealer did a complete PDI, went through with me to make sure every single thing was working before I drove off the lot. That's what I say. A great RV dealer will take their time, even if you're a newbie, even if you don't know everything. They will take your time to make sure that at least you understand the basics. They'll suggest you take notes. They'll suggest you get your iPhone and take videos. They don't want you calling back up, being ticked off at 10 o'clock at night. They don't want that. That's a good dealer. Many dealers, and I think that's changing now because business is pretty slow. It is. And the dealers now have more time. Hopefully they will spend that extra time in doing a better PDI, doing a more thorough walkthrough for their customers. Like I said, there's hundreds and hundreds of these comments. Let me just finish off. We spent the first night at the dealer, also checked everything out. We would not ever leave until the new RV was at 100%. Robert, that's what I say. Don't leave until the condition of the RV is what you are happy with. If they're not going to take care of it before they get your money, what do you think they're going to do after they get their money? Now, I know I'm painting with a broad brush, and not every dealer is going to do this to you. They're not. But doesn't it make sense to have a good dealer? Buy a good brand, a quality brand from a quality dealer. They're not going to be perfect. None of them are. But a great dealer will not let you leave if there's obviously something like a heater's not working in the middle of the winter time. This will be my last one. William Fisk says, I have watched both videos. While they go through this exhaustive process, how can we as consumers protect ourselves from this type of catastrophic accident? Very good question. I wonder how much they were underinsured. With a total loss, you'd think the insurance company would pay out. They'd walk away with a deductible that they could afford. Assume that it was a high deductible of $2,500. I'd not be happy at paying it, but I'd certainly pay that and carry on with my life without litigation, as you will never recoup the personal time and toll on your life that it takes to litigate. Have you ever been in a lawsuit? It's stressful. I don't care which side you are on. It is an emotional, expensive experience that will weigh on you for a long time, and it'll have a ripple effect on your family, on your coworkers. It is a scar that we have to go through. Unfortunately, with the world being so into suing everybody and people, not my fault, it was his fault, we have more and more and more of that. I go back to, isn't it time that Thor in Camping World does the right thing? I think it is. There's no wrong time to do the right thing. Make the next right decision, even if it's a hard decision. Do that. So I'm going to kind of leave it there. I promise that if I get more information from the Burge Law Firm or from the Domans, or if I get more information, I will provide it to you. But I thank you for watching. I thank you for chiming in. I'd like to know what you think about my comments. I try to be balanced. You know, I get criticized from the manufacturers and dealers sometimes, and then I get criticized from RVers sometimes. You, which side are you on, Wingman? I try to be on the side of what's right. It's sometimes the dealers and manufacturers are right, sometimes. And sometimes the consumer is right, but not all the time. Trying to be honest, it's hard. It's not a popular place to be. I enjoy it. I really do. I kind of like getting flack from both sides. It means that as they say, I'm over the target. But that's how we're going to wrap up 2023. Hopefully, the Dolman family will get a swift resolution. I doubt it. If the corporate bean counters, the lawyers, and all that, continue playing games, and that's what they do. This could drag on and on and on. But I just think there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. Again, Happy New Year to you. Please drop a comment. Tell me what you think about all this. Is this good for the future of the RV industry? Don't you think Thor and Camping World should have gotten on the phone and go, hey, maybe we ought to settle this thing before it turns into, what it's turned into? You can't put the genie, as they say, back in the bottle, but you can start by just settle the thing. I'm not saying give them a blank check. Try to come to some kind of a amicable resolution. Make these people whole. But more importantly, after that, you've got to take the next step. Training of your employees, if you're a manufacturer, the training of the dealer's employees. I would think that the dealer does not want an RV to go out like this. I mean, what kind of liability is that? What kind of a black eye is that for Camping World? I think they got a couple of black eyes. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much. I hope that you are careful tonight and you're not out driving around. I'm too old to be out driving around. I got that out of my system a long, long time ago. But please make sure you subscribe to this channel, give the video a thumbs up, drop a comment below, and Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. I'll see you next year.